here we are at Queen Elizabeth Park Community and Cultural Center at 2302 of Oakville. And when you come to Queen Elizabeth Park now, you have to be pre-registered for your activity. And then you will stand and wait outside. So if you are activity 1 or activity 2 or activity 3, you will line up and then wait to be let into the building. And once we go into the building, there will be a self-screening. So welcome back, everyone. So when you come in, you will be asked to stand behind the line and wait for a customer service representative to assist you. So here we are at the ceramic studio at Queen Elizabeth Park Community and Cultural Center. And this week, we are reopening our studios to members. Members do have to register in advance, and all of that information is on the website, www.oakville.ca, and go to drop-in programs on the website, and all the information will be there. Every visit that you make as a member, you do have to pre-register for. So that is new, coming back to the studios. But Diane, our culture coordinator here, has prepared all the studios so that we are safe and we can come back and make things again. So very excited, Diane, to see what you have in the studio for us.
Welcome, everyone. I can't wait to take you on our tour of the studios. So the first studio we have is ceramics. Come on in. This is our enter door. So we have spent a little bit of time thinking about the studios to ensure that they are safe for everybody. And on that note, you will notice a few new things in the studios, such as decals on the floor, helping to direct people around. We're hoping to get people going more or less in one direction. We've also cleaned out a lot of the extra furniture, and we've spaced out tables and wheels. So wheel work is still absolutely possible. Our maximum for drop-ins in here is 5. So we have 3 tables on the main floor and 2 up on the mezzanine. We can go up there in a bit if you like. And in here, we will be offering 2 adult classes, wheel throwing level 1 and wheel throwing level 2. So other things you will notice are reminders on each table, telling people they need to wear their masks. They need to make sure they've got the 2 meters between each other, or 4 meters square around them. We are asking that they leave their belongings in lockers so that they're not bringing in any coats or aprons. All of that will go into their lockers. That's new this year. And we have a new exit door which goes out the side. So again, trying to get movement going all in one direction, and then exiting will be through the side doors. So all of our regular activities can happen in here. Wheel throwing, hand building, extruding, the glazing area. You'll see on the shelves we've got a process. We're still firing as per usual. So the work gets, there's greenware on the far shelf. And when it gets fired once, it's called bisque, and that's in the middle, the white kind of light, depending on the color of clay, it could be red, gray, or the light clay. And then when it's glazed, painted and glazed, it comes out again and it's on the final shelf. So we've got a very clean process going on in here. But things have not changed, business as usual. I should point out that we are now asking our members to bring their own reclaim bucket. So a reclaim bucket is where you fill it with water and you clean your clay tools in that bucket so that the clay will sink to the bottom over a few days, and then you can pour off the water because it's clean, and then you just reclaim or reuse the film that's on the bottom that goes back into the clay. Normally we would have a communal bucket Over here, we are going to be removing all of those wash-up buckets and the reclaim bucket as well. So that will just be away, and everybody brings their own bucket to do that. Clay is actually a very interesting media because it can be zero waste if the artist or craftsperson is managing it properly, which is what we do in this studio all the time. We have a zero waste system, and we reuse that clay all the time. If it gets contaminated, if a little bit of glaze happens to fall in, we cannot reuse it. So what we do is we dry it out in these big plaster bowls. You can see an example of a plaster, well, that's our wedging table, but our bowls look very similar to that. They're made of plaster. The plaster absorbs the water, and when the clay becomes dry, then it can be discarded. Usually we fire it and then we throw it into the garbage because we don't want the dust from it. It's very important to have it fired and then throw it out so that the dust isn't airborne, because that is what can be toxic for people. So this is the member mezzanine, and each member gets a shelf, and then we have communal shelves over here. And we made room because we know that our members are going to be bringing their own reclaim bucket. So we've got the shelves set up to handle all of those individual buckets and their bags of clay as well. 2 members can work up here. And again, once again, in our ceramic studio and our wood shop, and Studio 1, which is another ceramic studio that we use for all ages or for kids and youth predominantly, it is a requirement now to wear a mask. So it's important to find a nice, comfortable one that you feel good in while you're making work. It's something a little bit new, but for the safety of everybody, that's what we're doing.
Here we are at Studio 1, and this is where many of our ceramic programs are scheduled for children, youth, and school programs. And we will be reopening this space this Saturday with Culture Days ceramic workshops. So there'll be a workshop at 1:30 for all ages, so that's children and adults, and then another workshop at 3 o'clock for adults only. All of that information is on www.oakville.ca, and go to drop-in programs and look for Culture Days. Here, Diane is going to bring us into the studios and show us some of the changes that we have implemented to make it safe to come back and make clay again.
Very excited for Saturday Culture Days. So you'll see our big enter sign on this door. And then once again, as individuals come in, they get a dirty bin, a spray bottle, and a cloth. And then they are assigned a seat at a table of their very own. And if they happen to have any belongings with them, we have hula hoops on the floor. They simply place their belongings in the hula hoop, and those are sanitized every day as well, so they can place things in there. We have tried to indicate with decals on the floor once again a way or a directional sign. With decals on the floor, we've tried to create direction around the studio and reminders that people must be remaining 2 meters apart. So for our Culture Days drop-in, it is, we have 2, as Tanya mentioned. The first one is from 1:30 to 2:30, and it's parented. So kids between, 6 and up, 6 to 12, can come with a parent. 6 to 13, can come with a parent, and then 14 and up can come on their own if they want to. And we've decided this time around to do thematic pieces. So we are running Culture Days instead of over 1 weekend. We're doing it over 5 weekends. Very exciting, and these are free drop-ins. Families can come and make something. So every week will be something different. We've got a vase, a flower pot, a mug, a bowl. They're all functional recipients that we're going to work on, and we have an instructor hired who will be leading the participants through the steps to make those pieces. And then from 3 to 4 is when adults can come, and it will just be all adults, and they'll be working on the same thing, same themes each week. So the nature of these Culture Days drop-ins is really for people who don't have any clay experience and want to try their hand at it or just learn a little bit more how it's done. So we've made them free. Normally there is a fee for the we call this the all ages drop-in on Saturdays, but we're waiving that for the month, part of September and the month of October as well. So come on in and take a look around. Everybody will have their own reclaim bin as well. So not only are they going to get a dirty bin that you saw at the door, they will be also getting our reclaim bin, and that is the bin or bucket that they will fill with water. And again, that bucket will sit at their desk, so they're going to have 2 buckets: the reclaim water bucket and then the dirty bucket. They wash their tools when they're done in the water, and then it just settles. We leave it, and then the next day or 2 we come back in, and then we will discard of the water and then recycle the leftover clay as well. So everybody's going to be working individually, and then the instructor will be leading everybody through the pieces that they're making each time. They're going to create the pieces, or actually build them, and then they're also going to paint them all in one step. And you can see the colors that we have for some of our glazes are up here, and some finished pieces. And down below, you can see these are the pieces that have been painted but not yet fired. So it's really funny because some of these pieces are actually painted with these bright colors up here. Doesn't look like that until they come out of the kiln. Once they're fired, then the colors change. And then individuals, that whole process can take up to 3 weeks. So all of our clients will then come back in 3 weeks, and outside of the studio, we're going to have a big wear cart, and everybody's work will be on the cart, and it will be labeled, and they're welcome to come and pick it up on a Saturday or Sunday during one of our drop-in programs. And we're going to give them a slip of paper with all of that information on it, so they know exactly when they can come back and get things.
So here we are in the Woodshop at Queen Elizabeth Park Community and Cultural Center with Diane, Culture Coordinator, and we're here to see how the Woodshop has been set up for members and for classes now that we're accepting registrations and now that the member studios are open. So if you want any information, please go to the website at www.oakville.ca. Under programs, we have registered programs and drop-in programs. Everyone does have to pre-register for any activity that you're doing here at the center. So call ahead if you have any questions, and we will help you. So Diane, do you want to tell us a little bit about the Woodshop and some of the changes here?
Yes. So in the Woodshop, we can accept a maximum of 6 members at a time working, and for classes, 8 children and 10 adults. So we've got a little bit lower numbers, but still pretty good actually. And when individuals come in for a drop-in, there will always be a technician on site. Same in the ceramic studio, always a technician. And the technician is helping the individuals, but also ensuring that they are maintaining their distance, wearing their masks, and following the sanitization rules that we have. So upon entry, individuals get what we call a dirty bin. And the dirty bins are right here by the door. As they come in, the technician will give them a dirty bin, a bottle of sanitizing Sabre spray, and a cloth. So this is going to be the situation in all of our studios. And then the member with this equipment is assigned a table and can only work at their table. So you will see that we have 8 tables set up. And then when the member is working, he or she can use their own tools, or they're welcome to use our tools as well. When they use the tools will stay at their table, and when they are finished with the tools, they put them in the dirty bin, and then they are responsible for spraying them to sanitize them. Everything gets sprayed and put back in the dirty bin. The bin itself gets sprayed, and then that goes back to the technician, and the technician checks it, and then if any extra cleaning needs to happen at that point, the technician will do it. We are also asking that members clean their stool and their table afterwards, so sanitizing that. So this is for the adult members. For classes, for adult classes, we will be asking them to do the same thing as well. For children's classes, it will be a little bit different. We won't let them handle the spray, but the children will get a dirty bin, and they're going to put all of their tools in that bin, and then the technician is going to sanitize at the end of the day. And then every evening, our operational staff comes in, and they sanitize once again surfaces, touch points, stools, and of course they clean the floor. So we've stepped up the cleaning and the sanitizing quite a bit in all of our spaces. Once again, we've put decals on the floor, trying to get everybody going in the same direction, and we have a special exit door going out the side to the parking lot. So for member drop-in especially, the exit is going to be through this back way, and we have a door that goes right to the parking lot. Right here to the right, we have now made this an official exit for our members.
So here we are at Queen Elizabeth Park in the display area, and this is Diane's pick for the artwork on display. So Diane's going to take us on a little tour of Dave's work, and we'll learn something new.
David McClymont is a professional artist who has been practicing for 30, 40 years, grew up in the 50s, and that was a time of prosperity after the war. So a lot of the work has to do with that experience as a child, and in particular, he's got a series of cars, which you'll see in a moment, that he's drawn. As a child, you know, and in that time, children were kind of like better seen, not heard kind of thing. So he spent lots of time drawing. He would draw all day and all night in his room, and you can see that in the work. And it's like a take on the 50s and the 60s, that prosperity, that middle-class lifestyle, the suburban lifestyle as well. He's also very heavily into animals and creatures. So a lot of the people in these drawings are a combination of animals and human beings. And you'll even see himself. He's got a few like little self-portraits almost in some of them, where he's an animal as well. You'll notice how the drawings are not on squares or rectangular pieces of paper. They're exploding. They're pushing out, and so they're like meteors, and you know that's a reference to that boom time, and you know the 60s with space and exploration and all of that kind of industrialization, new things happening, new materials, plastics, prefabricated things, etc. So he's really playing a lot on that time period, and hence the show is, as I said, it's called This Is Mine. So they're very autobiographical.